we're going to do a bookshelf tour because I got new bookshelves, as you guys can tell, and I organized them very specifically, so I want to show them off because I'm very proud of them, and it took me an hour and a half to organize them. So I'm going to answer a couple questions before we get started. My bookshelves are organized by genre and then by author name, except for the black bookshelf over here. It is just everything that isn't over here. Let's get started with this top shelf here. This is my nonfiction shelf, and I just have the Tea Dragon Society there to kind of take up all the empty space that's there. So I just have some true crime books, The Mothman Prophecies, Midnight in Chernobyl, Financial Diet, Teach Like a Pirate, and then this Vanilla Honey Candle. And my bookshelves go this way, like boom. So just so we're clear on that. So these first few bookshelves are all classics. They're in alphabetical order. This edition is a very nice edition of Jane Eyre. It has gold foiled edges. The only problem is the gold foiling is coming off and there's some water damage on it. This is my very old, beat up copy of To Kill a Mockingbird. Love this novel. It's amazing and very important to read. Then I have all these. The majority of these I haven't read. I also have literary fiction on the shelf, which is why you see Circe and then The Goldfinch and The Secret History. So, we have all these, and then this collection of crime and mystery short stories. I didn't know where else to put it, so I just put it with my classics. And then next to it, we have a jar of my bookmarks. This is the pencil case that keeps all my annotating pens in. And then this is a little teacup that used to have a candle in it that has my flags for annotating. And then we have my BTS Map of Soul 7 album on display because it is beautiful and everyone needs to see it. And then this card right here is it's sticky tacked shut because if it's not, it'll open. If you open it, which I'm not going to do, it is signed by Gillian French, who wrote The Missing Season. She sent me this when I won the giveaway for The Missing Season. So yeah. And this is my Harry Potter shelf. I'm very hesitant to show this because of everything that J.K. Rowling has done, being a transphobe. But Harry Potter is something that's very important to me, and I've completely detached her from the importance of this story because the things that are core, like love in the story, are not things that she is currently preaching, and we don't stand that at all. Hi, so I'm editing, and what I was trying to say is the things that are core to Harry Potter, like preaching love, is things that she is not doing right now. By being a transphobe and by saying that trans women aren't women even though they totally are. So that's why I've detached her from everything. And I've never really cared about JK to begin with, so. But with this shelf, I have The Cursed Child right here. This is a cursed book. It is awful. And then I have these very pretty 15th anniversary Scholastic editions. They're kind of like the UK editions almost. Just not. And then my house copy of The Philosopher's Stone. And then back here are my original copies of Harry Potter that the first ones that I ever read. This one is stolen from my school library that I used to go to. And then these are actually Christmas ornaments of different characters. Like this one is Hermione Granger. Then we have Harry Potter forward facing. We have some charms, and then Professor Dumbledore. Then the shelf next to it is my dystopian sci-fi shelf, because a lot of dystopian books tend to have sci-fi in them, so it just felt right to put them together. So we have the selection, which I've never read, but I'm planning to read, my original copies of The Hunger Games that are super beat up, my special edition copies that I just bought. Catching Fire is missing because it is somewhere else. I'm reading it right now. Then we have The Ballad of Songbirds, and then sci-fi kind of starts right here with The Girl in the Red by Christine Henry. And then just kind of goes on. More dystopian type stuff. I put dry in the dystopian books, even though it's kind of not a dystopian book, because I didn't know where else to put it, because it's not contemporary, but it's not like the end of the world. Also, that's my dying bird's nest plant. Right here, these book sleeves I will show at the end of the video. because these are actually books I'm currently reading or want to read this month. Now we're getting into my fantasy shelves, which I have 3 of. So the first ones I have are the Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard, my absolute favorite series of all time. Then we have some Leigh Bardugo, Holly Black. I don't own The Queen of Nothing. Haven't actually read it yet. Need to get on that because I really love The Cruel Prince and the Wicked King. So then we get on to this, my very pretty special edition, white editions of Twilight that I just recently bought. And then on these lights, I have some magnetic bookmarks. This one is a little kitty in a frog outfit. I really love her. I also have my editions of Carry On. This is the first edition I bought when it first came out. I really wish they'd make this in a hardback so that it would match this. But that's wishful thinking. And here I have my BTS Persona album, because there's a big gap right there, and I figured putting a BTS album there makes sense. Victoria Schwab. This is a middle grade series of hers. It's really good. I've only read the first one, but I really enjoyed it. Book I won in a giveaway, The Deep by River Solomon. Haven't read any of these. I really want to read Crave by Tracy Wolff because it seems very interesting and the cover very much reminds me of Twilight. So why there's so much space on these shelves, I didn't want to mix genres. Like, I have space here to put my fantasy books with my dystopian books, but I didn't want to do that just for personal reasons. Like, I just wanted to keep them separate in my head. So that's what I did. Next is my horror shelf. Nothing too exciting here. We have my favorite book, Wilder Girls. I put Wilder Girls there because it's kind of a body horror book, and I figured it fit. Then, if you guys remember last year, I was ranting up and down about Danielle Vega being, like, awesome, but I found that I don't really enjoy her books, so I only have one left that I haven't read. So I don't know how long that's going to be on my shelf. So what I meant by not liking Danielle Vega is that I've read 5 of her books, and I've only enjoyed 2 of them, and so I'm very hesitant to say that she is an author I enjoy, because the majority of her books that I've read I have not liked, but there is definitely chance that I will enjoy Survive the Night, which is why I have it on my shelves. We have a few Stephen Kings, then we have The House of Leaves right here, which is something I'm very excited to get to, but it seems like it's going to take a lot of brain power. Then right here is my mystery thriller shelf, and I don't separate my genres by, like, YA or adult, just because I don't know, it didn't really make sense to me to do that. So we have my favorite YA mystery series, which is Truly Devious. I haven't read the 3rd one, so I can't speak on that one, but the first 2 I really like. I actually haven't read the majority of the books on the shelf now that I'm thinking about it. I've read 3, 4 of them. Also, one of the reasons this shelf looks as cluttered as it is because it is incredibly cluttered. Because, again, I didn't want to mix genres, so I had to force all of my mysteries and thrillers to fit on this shelf instead of fitting on the remaining 3. So now down here we have historical fiction. This can be like historical paranormal fiction, which I feel is what The Diviners falls into. Then we have mystery, thriller, historical fiction, I guess you could consider it. I do own Escaping Houdini, but it is actually up there because it is a book I'm planning to get to very, very soon. I have the first in the, Anne Darken series. I think there's 4 in total. And then The Book Thief and The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein. I actually haven't read Frankenstein, so I'm kind of saving that for when I do, so I know what's happening. Now we're getting into my contemporary shelves, which is the last of my shelves. Again, they're in alphabetical order. I have 5 Feet Apart forward facing because it's a book that's really stuck with me. And it's actually a book that got me back into reading, so it's forward facing because it's very special. And then over here, we have some books, and I have these books stacked instead of, like, but on their side just because I figured it looked better that way. And then right there is just like a little sewing kit. So that's my shelves. I have some baskets of just junk up there. A drawing from Pen Pal, a postcard of the missing season that was sent to me. Yeah. And that's the copy of the missing season that I was sent. So I'm very happy with my shelves. Up and moving over here, we have more books. And these again are stuff that just generally didn't fit over there, or I didn't feel were important enough to put over there. Library books that I have checked out. And then we have the series of Unfortunate Events, and then Percy Jackson and the Olympians, 6 volumes of Haikyuu, Shiver by Junji Ito, Tomi, and Gyo. So those are the last of my books. So I'm very happy with my shelves. I worked very hard. I moved my desk from this wall over here to this wall all by myself in the middle of the night because I wanted to put these shelves over here like a little mini library, and I want to get a chair to put in the space between my bookshelves. But yeah, those are my bookshelves, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I'm back for a little bit. I don't know how long, but for a while. I forgot to show you guys what was in those book sleeves. So let's get into that. These book sleeves are books that I'm currently reading or want to get to very soon because, I don't know, Olivia Reads a Latte does this, so I was like, I'll do it and see if it works, and it kind of has been. So in this Marauders Map book sleeve, I have my copy of Catching Fire that, again, I'm currently reading. I'm only on page, 71, so yeah. Then it doesn't have a book sleeve of its own because I don't have enough, but this is Ken by Keelan Patrick Burke. Want to read this, but then I watched Paperback Dreams, aka Kat's video with her dad, where they completely roast horror novels, and they said this book was really bad, and I'm honestly not enjoying it anyway, but I want to finish it just to see if it gets any better. So then in this potions class one is The 10th Girl by Sarah Faring. I haven't started this yet. I tried to read it once, but I only got that far in because my brain was hurting and I couldn't focus, so I gave up on it. And then in this lemon book sleeve is Escaping Houdini by Carrie Maniscalco, which is the next book in the Jack the Ripper series that I need to read. So we shall get to it eventually. Hopefully very soon, because I have the audiobook for it and 10th Girl. So hopefully I will get to both of these very soon, hopefully before the end of the month.